And we're joined by Clément Bonnereau.
Hi, François.
We're in the runoff. We're in the heat of the runoff campaign. A week from tonight, it'll be the close of the campaign before the second round. It's centrist Emmanuel Macron versus the far-right Marine Le Pen. She's trying to broaden her base, but she's got a hiccup that she has to deal with. The man that she named as her interim replacement as head of the National Front has had to resign after past Holocaust-denying remarks.
That's right. Well, you might remember on Monday, Marine Le Pen announced she was temporarily stepping down as president of the National Front to focus on her campaign. She was replaced by Jean-François Jalkh, a relatively unknown member of the party, but he was asked to step down today after the press revealed he'd made controversial comments about the Holocaust back in 2005, casting doubt over the use of Zyklon B gas in Nazi death camps. It's quite an embarrassing development for Marine Le Pen, who's worked hard to distance herself from the party's anti-Semitic past, as Simon Harding now reports.
A huge blunder right in the middle of the presidential campaign. Suspected of historical negationism of the Nazi atrocities in World War II, the European MP Jean-François Jalkh, who was meant to take over command of the National Front Party, has stepped down.
He wants to defend himself. He's going to sue for defamation, and I can assure you that he strongly and firmly contests those claims.
Often in the shadows, Jean-François Jalkh started his political career as a member of parliament before becoming a regional councillor and then a European Parliament member. During an interview released in 2005, he cast doubts over the use of Zyklon B substances in gas chambers.
I believe that from a strictly technical point of view, it is impossible, I say impossible, to use it for mass killings.
As a young member of parliament, Jalkh seemed already able to distinguish between his beliefs and his image.
Believe me, our ideas are very strong and we know exactly what we want. On the other hand, we can appear calm and very moderate. In a certain way, yes, it's our packaging.
The vice president of the Front National, Florian Philippot, also defended him.
I know him well. He's an honest man. I find it amusing that these comments made 17 years ago appear now.
Taking charge of the party is the mayor of Front National's stronghold Hénin-Beaumont, Steve Briouat, a turn of events which 9 days from the election, Marine Le Pen would have preferred avoiding.
And I guess you could say it's no coincidence that Marine Le Pen's rival visited one of the most symbolic places when it comes to French suffering under the Nazi regime.
That's right. Emmanuel Macron visited the town of Oradour-sur-Glane, a town in central France, where Nazi troops killed 642 people in June 1944. Macron's visit was a way for him to warn of the dangers of the far right taking power in France. And with 9 days to go to the final runoff, the centrist candidate said that Le Pen's nationalist programme would bring back war to Europe. Our reporter on the ground, Claire Williams, tells us more.
Emmanuel Macron came here to Oradour-sur-Glane to show how and why he differs from his rival Marine Le Pen when it comes to Europe. Now, Emmanuel Macron wants a strong, unified Europe. Marine Le Pen obviously doesn't. She wants France to leave the European Union. Now, just to give you some background, Oradour-sur-Glane was the scene of a massacre back in 1944. Nazi soldiers killed 642 people in cold blood in this village. And I actually met a survivor of that massacre. She was 6 years old when it happened, and she told us why she's decided that she will support Emmanuel Macron.
I think it's important for Emmanuel Macron to show that he remembers what's happened here and that it could happen again. Because in the current political climate, there are certain forces that could make it happen again.
Well, that was Raymonde. She was 6 years old when the Oradour-sur-Glane massacre happened here. Now, Emmanuel Macron is holding a rally this Friday evening in Châtellerault. It's the town not too far away. The town actually voted for him in the first round of the presidential elections, but surrounding smaller towns and villages did not. So he's clearly still chasing after every single vote he can. Second round of the presidential election is, of course, in just over a week's time.
That was Claire Williams reporting from Oradour-sur-Glane in central France.
All right. And again, we were saying at the outset how for Marine Le Pen to beat Macron, she needs to broaden her base. She could be getting in the next few hours her first big endorsement from one of the eliminated candidates.
That's right. Marine Le Pen is counting on the support of Nicolas Dupont-Aignan, a right-wing candidate who won 5% of the vote on Sunday and ran on an anti-European platform. But he so far refused to explicitly back Le Pen in the upcoming second round of the election. The two are meeting this evening, though, to discuss a possible alliance. Andrew Hillier takes a closer look at what his endorsement could mean for the National Front candidate.
This is Nicolas Dupont-Aignan's stronghold, the town of Hyères, just outside Paris. The former candidate, who positioned himself as an alternative to both François Fillon and Marine Le Pen, has been the mayor of this town since 1995. On Sunday, 28% of those who cast ballots here voted for Dupont-Aignan. Since then, he's refused to formally back a second-round contender.
How would you react if you backed Le Pen?
I wouldn't vote for him, even though I always have done.
For others, Dupont-Aignan's programme bears a striking resemblance to the one put forward by Le Pen.
I feel that when Marine takes a decision, she says it out loud and it's clear for all to see. As for him, I'm not sure.
And if Dupont-Aignan endorses Le Pen?
I followed him up until now. He understands the values that she holds dearly. So yes, I'd vote Marine Le Pen.
But some voters remain unconvinced. They say an endorsement would do little to sway their opinions.
For the moment, neither candidate has done enough to convince me, so I'm still thinking about it.
Even though Dupont-Aignan has yet to back a candidate, his endorsement could have a big impact going into the second round.
All right, so Nicolas Dupont-Aignan, who's expected to perhaps endorse Marine Le Pen. We were waiting for a big YouTube message from the far left's Jean-Luc Mélenchon, who so far has endorsed neither.
That's right. The leader of the so-called Unbound France movement has just confirmed that he would not back any of the candidates in the second round. He called on his supporters earlier this week to vote against Marine Le Pen on May the 7th, but stopped short of endorsing Macron. Le Pen, meanwhile, has appealed to Mélenchon's supporters to join her camp and reject Macron's liberal policies. Let's take a listen.
I felt like between many of you that the red flags were being replaced with the blue, white and red, and the beautiful Marseillaise was being sung by the supporters of France Unsubmissive. I'm appealing to those voters of France Unsubmissive to say that now we must block Emmanuel Macron. His proposal is the polar opposite of the one he supported during the first round of the campaign. He does not represent change. He is a continuance, or even worse, of François Hollande.
All right, Marine Le Pen's appeal there. The question was put to France's most famous football legend, Zinedine Zidane, who back in 2002 had called to vote against her dad.
That's right, and the 1998 World Cup champion and Real Madrid coach says a far-right presidency could divide French society. Let's take a listen.
I'm far from all those ideas. The National Front, so let's avoid it as much as possible.
Clément Ponnereau, many thanks for that. We have more Campaign Beat on our website and on YouTube. More updates up until that 7th of May runoff right here.